let's say like you do the DCF and then you do also do comps, and if DCF is giving you a higher valuation, what is one way to like sanity check if your DCF is too aggressive or not relative to the comps?
I'm actually not sure the answer to that question, Sam. So
So let's put it this way. Where does most of the value of a
Mhm.
company in a DCF come from? Like which part of the DCF?
So like what's it's most sensitive to?
Mm, not quite, but like what you're forecasting out the future free cash flow of the business, right? And it's like when you do that and you discount it back and you get to a valuation, right? Where's the majority of like if you said the valuation was $60 billion based on your DCF, like where is the majority of that $60 billion coming from?
So if you know your DCF is too dependent on these like assumptions, if more than 50% of the enterprise value comes from like its terminal value, if the significant amount of your valuation comes from the terminal value, then you know that it's too dependent on future assumptions.
Is 50% the cutoff? Because I didn't think that
It's significantly more.
was
Like it's way more than 50%, like 80 to 90% comes from at terminal value.
yeah, but 80 to 90 is very different from 50. Right.
Hmm.
I don't know. Like, I mean, like if you ask like Wall Street Prep, they'll say like usually the terminal value makes up around 3/4 of the total implied valuation, right? But like 3/4 would be like 75%,
Okay.
which actually is closer to 80 than 50. So anyway, I wouldn't even like get into like those specific numbers like that because I think that's just like a
Yeah.
dangerous thing to do because the banker might not agree with you.
Hmm.
But what I was getting at was like, okay, most of the value comes from the terminal value, DCF, right? So when you're calculating the terminal value, like how do you go about that?
So that there's two ways to go about calculating the terminal value. There's the multiples method and the Gordon growth method. For the multiple methods, we just use, the same industry multiple that we applied, I think 18 times to its final year. So it's year 5 EBITDA. And then I don't think we actually use a Gordon growth method for our DCF for TSMC specifically.
Okay, but now go back to the question I just asked.
Mhm.
How do you know if your DCF is too aggressive relative to your comps?
So like if it's free cash flow doesn't, sorry.
Because you can because basically you what you can do is you can do both the Gordon growth
Yeah.
and the multiples method, and then like the two methods are supposed to get you to like relatively close valuation, right? It can't be like,
Mhm.
oh, if I do Gordon growth, then it's way higher, and then if I do like multiples way lower, or vice versa, because then that wouldn't make sense,
Yeah.
right? So you're trying to make the two methods converge, but like that basically, like because there are certain parameters, like for example, when you're doing the Gordon growth, like you're not going to make the growth rate like much higher than you're not going to make the growth rate higher than like GDP growth, for example,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And so some of the parameters are like relatively set, right? And then you know like whatever your discount rate is, but that means that you can back into like what the implied multiple should be, right?
Okay.
So then you can just compare that implied multiple to uh,
Mhm.
the multiple that you're getting on the comp side and see if it's close or not. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
You're following what I'm saying, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So that's like kind of like a roundabout way to test you on your terminal value knowledge. But like the reason why I did that was because I think a lot of these elite boutiques, like when they ask you guys questions, it's not like they're testing you on like fundamentally harder concepts. They just tend to dress up the question more and disguise it so that it's not like something that you recognize as easily, right?
Yeah.
Like if I just asked you, hey, how do you do a terminal value calculation? Like you could probably answer that, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes that you have to like kind of read between the lines and try to like interpret like, hey, what are they really getting at here, right? And that requires you to like connect the dots, right?
Yeah, that's actually really, because it's funny because I heard last week at Lazard Super Day they asked, they asked him like choose an industry, choose a company, and then they started asking him about how they thought about the multiples, the three statements, investment thesis. Yeah, so that's why I think last week, like I heard that they did that during the Super Day.
Yeah, yeah. So like these are more like application type questions.
Mhm.
I think like level one is definitional questions where they're just asking about the definition of things. You're like asking you to explain a certain terminology, or like, hey, what is a DCF, or what is weighted average cost of capital, or what is fill in the blank, and that's like relatively easy as long as you've actually, memorized the definitions. Like anyone can pretty much do it, right?
Mm.
Picking an actual company or picking a deal that you actually worked on and asking you to talk about that, you can't really memorize those answers ahead of time, right? And you're actually having to like apply it on the spot like this. So those are more application based questions, which is a lot harder. And like based on what we see, like those are typically the types of questions that these elite boutiques like asking. So
Makes
just
sense.
gotta like kind of make yourself get used to them.
Okay.
Hey there, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're looking for more customized advice that's tailored for your specific situation, then I invite you to book a free strategy session with our team at the link below. We'll talk to you soon.